Joanne Hayes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I stand to take a call on our comprehensive housing plan, and because I am very proud to stand here and say that when it comes to Christchurch, that comprehensive housing plan has worked a treat, Mr Speaker. When I look at the amount of homes that were destroyed because of those earthquakes, Mr Speaker, it astounds me that this government over a 3-year period has been able to redevelop the homes, to build the homes that were destroyed, especially around the social housing or the Housing New Zealand homes, Mr Speaker. When we start looking at what happened post-earthquake, this government established what was known as the Canterbury Earthquake Temporary Accommodation Services, and this was able to house 6,500 people in temporary accommodation while their homes were being repaired. This government also worked alongside of corrections. This is not just a housing plan just to put up houses throughout the area. This is about a plan that actually encompasses all of the agencies that are in Christchurch, Mr Speaker. And when I say corrections, it was corrections that actually came along and worked in partnership with this government to be able to do the repairs that some of the homes and some of the rebuilds and the electorate that I look after, Christchurch East, that they came along and they built some homes down in Aranui, Mr Speaker. Those homes were, the land was opened by the Prime Minister in 2014, and by the end of 2015, people were actually living in those homes, Mr Speaker. I turned to Aldershot Street in Aranui this year, Mr Speaker. The Minister for Social Housing, Paula Bennett, opened 15 homes of 108 social housing homes that are going to be opened in Aranui by the end of this year, Mr Speaker. These are homes that will house over 200 people, Mr Speaker, and that's replacing 97 homes that were destroyed in the Aranui area, Mr Speaker. I look at the many things that, the many housing projects that are going on, not just the social housing, but all the private housing areas as well. We've got Preston's growing, we've got Pegasus growing. By 2017, Mr Speaker, all the housing that is required for Christchurch, our housing projects, will be complete, Mr Speaker, and we will be back to the start and growing from 2011 earthquakes, Mr Speaker. I'm shocked that the opposition has taken a xenophobic approach to people owning homes in the Auckland area throughout Aotearoa, New Zealand. It is a bad look for us as New Zealanders, and it's got to stop. We cannot have that kind of nonsense in this country, because that's not the way that we are, Mr Speaker. When I look at Home Start, Labor is looking to take away Home Start. A lot of young people actually use Home Start to be able to purchase their first homes. And while I'm on youth, let's have a look at some of the youth-supported accommodation projects that were developed in Christchurch and in Palmerston North, Mr Speaker. We have been able to house those young people between the ages of 16 and 19 years old who have been sitting on the social housing register and put them into some homes that they can stay there for as long as they want to, Mr Speaker. So many exciting things are happening in the Christchurch area, Mr Speaker, in the city. 600 homes through the Riccarton bill has been approved through this House, and that is going to actually open up whole new opportunities for the people living in Christchurch. It's 600 brand new homes, of which a portion of those will only be sold for $450,000 to those under special housing accommodation, Mr Speaker. All in all, Mr Speaker, it is an amazing time in Christchurch. New developments. This is a new city. We are loving it down there. We are leading the way when it comes to housing. Everybody in the country must take a leaf out of the Christchurch situation, Mr Speaker, because we have dropped housing prices from 16% down to 3%. The valuations down, not the valuations, the prices down to 3%. People are able to buy homes there. People are getting housed, and I thank you.
Marama.